the beach episode so far? Good, because we have a whole bunch of summer fun to share with you guys tonight. My name is Jill.
And I'm Cherry.
And I'm Leah.
And we are going to be your MCs this evening, as well as representing our host group for this event, Sk8 Idols.
This is our 4th year bringing you the AnimeIowa Idol Fest, and this show is sure to be an unforgettable one. So thank you all so much for coming out.
Alright, now I'm curious, how many of you guys have been to an Idol Fest before? Amazing. Welcome back. And is this anyone's first time at an Idol Fest? Alright, well welcome to the wonderful wide world of idols. Don't worry, we will let you know a little bit of what to expect.
Tonight, we have a great lineup of dance and vocal performers, and they've all worked immensely hard to prepare some amazing stuff for you guys. But if you've never been to an idol show before, you should know that half of the fun is in the cheering. You might have seen someone waving some of these things around before. These are called pen lights. Oh, wow, look at all the pen lights. And these are often the preferred method to cheer on idols. And if you don't have one, glow sticks work just fine. See those glow sticks?
All right, I want to see all of them. All pen lights or glow sticks. Raise them high, raise them high.
Alright, so you guys got this down, but do we just keep waving them like this?
Well, I guess there's nothing stopping you from doing that, but there are a few basic cheers that are going to be common for you to see tonight. So let's go over them real quick so all you guys can cheer with confidence. Okay, first off, this one is going to be your basic hi chant. You can think of this as if you're clapping along on 2 and 4 to the beat, but instead on 2 and 4, you're just going to go up and up and up. And if you're really feeling it, when you go up, you can also add a and hi, 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 hi. Nice, nice work. You'll find that's really addicting to do. So I hope you guys have fun doing that. There's a few variants. Sometimes in a lead up to a bridge or before a chorus, we have something called a pan, 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 hi. This one is just slightly different. You might start slow at the bottom. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Lovely. Now, we're gonna also have a few ballads tonight too. For those, just go with the flow. Go nice and slow. Send that energy right back on stage to them. And it's just a beautiful array of colors. We love it. Now, what do we do in dance breaks or high energy moments or when we're just so filled with love? Just shake them in the air. Shake them like you just don't care. Give you some pinwheel action up here. And we love seeing that energy, but an important distinction, we love shouting, we love cheering, but please don't actually scream. It can scare the performers a little. And the last important thing about pen lights, the color changing. Idols often have a specific image color that fans can show their support of that idol by changing it to that color. So before all of our acts tonight, we are going to give you a color that if you can find it in time, you can change to. Yes! Perfect example.
Amazing. 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 Third time's a charm. Are you guys ready to put those cheers to work for realsies? It's about time we get started with our first performance.
Woo!
Real quick though, before we start, a reminder to be respectful to our performers and your fellow audience members. If you need to leave or re-enter at any time, please try to do so between songs. Photos and videos are also very welcome, but please be courteous not to block the view of other audience members, and no flash photography, please.
All that being said, darn, we
we be setting sail? Returning as your hosts of the AnimeIowa Idol Fest and opening the show for you this year, our very own crew, Sk8 Idols.
Last week's Kirby Dogs best cheer your loudest early Davy Jones's free. Turn your pen light color to suit your favorite pirate and enjoy as Sk8 Idols presents An Idol's Life for Me. local idol group started by 3 best friends, Kira Navy, Kira Crimson, and Kira White. Are you ready for an unforgettable show?
Tonight, 2 legendary virtual divas take the stage. The dazzling high-energy star, Hatsune Miku, and the elegant, powerful songstress, Megumi Luka. Get ready to sing, dance, and feel the music. Turn those pen lights to blue and red, and let's make some noise for Sk8 Idols!
Come on,
here on the AnimeIowa stage.
Set your pen lights to mint and give her a big welcome to the stage. Let's hear it for Laser Kitten. Amazing job by Kitty there. All right, coming up next, Lillyra is a local performer with a theater and choir background, but this is their debut as an idol.
Their inspirations were Ayaka Kishibe and Uzuki Shimamura from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, alongside the encouragement and support of their wife and friends.
Please set your pen lights to white and let's welcome to the stage Lillyra.
Okay, on to our next act. Dance Dance Sekai is a sibling duo who loves to perform, bringing you J-pop, K-pop, and dance galore. They hope to invite you into their very own Dance Sekai.
Turn those pen lights to pink and red and get ready for some summer fun with Dance Dance Sekai.
Thank
hear another round for Dance Dance Sekai. On to the next act. Sound the alarms, this high charms.
Turn your pen lights to fire red, and let's turn up the heat. It's flame! Blooberryjelly from Fuwakumo Idols and the recent duo Poisonjelly Idols.
Please set your pen lights to Miko Teal and welcome to the stage, Blooberryjelly. big cheer for the beautiful performance. All right, are you ready to take a dive in the ocean blue? Come swim with these two longtime idols as they perform as Lucia and Hannah from Mermaid Melody.
Welcoming the leaders of Fuwakumo Idols, here is Bellune performing Dive to Blue. Set those pen lights to pink and blue, and let's have some fun! Let's hear it one more time for Bellune and that fantastic performance. And what's that? An angel has descended and is ready to take the stage. Iristine has performed on stage before, but never as an idol. She's been waiting and waiting, and now it's time for her to break free. Will you welcome her?
Please set your pretty pen lights to pastel pink and cheer for the idol debut of Iristine the Angel.
Transfer me the
Such pretty vocals took us away on flying wings. How about one more cheer for Iristine the Angel? Alrighty. Very cute, very ganky. It's the sweetest idol, Ventii. This song is a homage to the years Ventii has spent making friends and performing thanks to Aqua.
Everyone, please turn your pen lights to blue and give a big yosoro for Strawberry Ventii.
Everyone, are you ready to set sail? Yosoro!
stars above. They are Nightlight Idols. Based in Illinois, they have come to perform as your favorite vocal synths, Miku and Teto.
Turn your pen lights to pink and green and give a big cheer for Nightlight Idols. Let's give it up for Nightlight Idols! Stunning and classic duo. Alrighty. Traveling from Brooklyn to Iowa City, Helvetica is ready to make her solo debut and show the audience what a true idol master can do. Set your pen lights to light blue and give it up for Helvetica!
skate park to the stage. Making their debut here in Iowa, hailing from St. Louis, Missouri, introducing Sk8 Idols.
Set the lights beneath your skateboards to light blue and red for Kitty and Ryu of Sk8 Idols.
That's my wife!
後の自由を奪って物がなられない
Another round of applause for the radical Sk8 Idols. All right, beautiful. Returning to the stage is half of the duo of Dance Dance Sekai, G. They hope to bring you their unique charms, showing grace and fun.
Make sure you're ready to party as this weekender girl takes the stage. All pen lights to red, and let's hear it for G. 3. Let's give it up again. Now, I am sad to say that our time here tonight is almost at an end. We just have one final group that is performing this evening, but it is something real special. Now, come and join this motley crew of critters as they dance into the summer night.
Turn your pen lights to red, pink, and blue to cheer on Midnight Revelry. Talk about a magical night. Thank you all so much for joining us on this voyage.
We want to sincerely thank you all so much for the love that you guys have shown Idols at AnimeIowa these past few years. It's because of your support that we've been able to make the Idol Fest an official sponsored event for the first time this year. And because of that, and all the support in general, we're able to give more opportunities than ever to all of these talented individuals, along with even more wonderful idols at this con. And that was because of you all. So thank you for coming, thank you for cheering, and thank you for having one heck of a beach party with us.
There's one other person that deserves a big round of applause, which is our wonderful coordinator, Jill. She did so much to make this a fantastic day for all of you. I'm talking managing applications, social media, logistics, costumes, literally everything. So she did an amazing job. One more round of applause for Jill.
I do it for you guys, so I'm glad that you guys like this event so much.
Alright, with that, now on to my actually scripted part. The idol events of the weekend are just beginning, so there's a lot more to look forward to. You can check out our Instagram for some more info on the Idol Fun happening this weekend, and be sure to visit the Idol Fest booth in the marketplace. We are at booth G7 in the back guest row, like right next to the concessions, like right there. So come see us, have a snack, hang out, good stuff. All weekend we will be having meet and greets and selling merch for the Idol Fest and a bunch of these idols.
And if you thought that this looked pretty fun and you wanted to give it a try yourself, book for Idol Fest applications to open next spring for 2026's show. We love to see new faces on AnimeIowa's stage and always save room for some new idols and debuts.
With that all said, it's about time for us to say goodbye, but first, we're gonna bring all our performers back on stage for one big group photo, so get those cameras ready. We'll get all our idols in line, and thank you all so much